here at Patmos SDA Chapel to talk to Pastor Doggette about the importance of organ and tissue donation. This is a topic that is very taboo in minority communities, but I'm so glad to be here with Dr. Doggette to talk about this very important topic.
Well, Stacy, I'm glad to be here as well. This is a subject that is very dear to my heart and to my kidney and to my pancreas.
Right, as we know. So you just mentioned that this is important because you are a recipient of a kidney and a pancreas. So my first question to you is, what did you think about when you received that diagnosis of kidney disease or failure? And what did the future look like for you if you didn't receive that gift of life?
That's kind of a loaded question. First of all, I am a sanguine, so I like adventures.
Okay.
And I was diagnosed with diabetes when I was 10 years old, and it didn't scare me at all.
Wow.
I am very competitive too, and I knew others who had diabetes, and I was going to do better than they did. That's how I accepted that. But when I found out I was having kidney failure after 30-some years of taking insulin shots and whatnot, it scared me a little bit. And one of the reasons it scared me, Stacy, is because I had a cousin who passed away who had kidney failure.
Yeah.
And he was a little bit younger than I was, so I kind of feared that my future wasn't very bright.
Right.
And they did give me a prognosis that wasn't the best prognosis in the world. In fact, my kidneys had gotten down to functioning at about 15%.
Oh, wow.
And I was feeling the results of it. I was very sick, vomiting all the time. I was very nervous. I was very nervous about my future.
Right. As you should be. So what did your future look like? What did they say?
Well, my lifespan was going to be cut a bit short if I did not either do dialysis or get a transplant. And so I knew that something had to be done. I went to a variety of places to get their advice on what should be done because I didn't like the early advice I was getting.
Right.
The concept or the idea of dialysis, it didn't work for me. I was very, very active, active. I liked to engage in sports, probably way past the years I should have been engaging in sports. But I thought about some of those I knew who had gone on dialysis, and it seemed to kind of sap away their vitality, and I didn't want to live that way. So I was extremely nervous, and they did tell me that if I didn't do something, I went to Johns Hopkins. I went all the way there to see if they could tell me something better. And when I went to Johns Hopkins, they told me, look, you got to either start dialysis right away if you don't get a transplant. One of the two, or you're not going to live.
Okay. So ultimately, what did you end up doing? Did you end up on dialysis?
No, I did not do dialysis.
Okay.
The advice of the doctor at Johns Hopkins was also hold off as long as you possibly can, and let's see if a kidney can be made available for you. And I was blessed. Someone else's misfortune actually turned out to be a gift of life for me. A 15-year-old young man was shot at school, and his mother had heard about my kidney condition and requested that I be allowed to have his kidney if in fact it was a match.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't do dialysis, but I was going to have to pretty quickly.
Yeah. So you got lucky because you had a direct donor that said, I want to give this kidney to you. So
You can call it luck.
It's God.
I call it, yes. Absolutely. That was
God. Providence.
Yeah. And it was an absolute blessing because it came out of nowhere. I was on a list for a transplant. It was going to take a long time. I was told that the average waiting time was something like 3 years or so because shortage of available parts, a shortage, especially in our community, the Black community.
Exactly. And that's the importance of this concert that we're having, is to raise awareness on why we need to be donors, especially in the Black community, because there's so many of us that are on that transplant waiting list, and so many of us die every day. 17 people die every day waiting for a transplant. And, once you leave this earth, that's the only time you're able to be a donor, unless you are a living donor. But once you pass away, you can give someone the gift of life by being an organ donor. So I'm glad that 15-year-old kid's mother was able to see the value in donation and give you that gift of life.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about your other transplant that you received? Because you got a kidney and a pancreas, right?
I did. I'm a double transplant guy. Two miracles for me. When the 15-year-old young man, Todd Brown was his name, when he passed away tragically, shot at school, his mother actually asked if I could have both his kidney, and his pancreas.
Wow.
And when they were harvesting the parts, they damaged the pancreas.
Oh, man.
So instead of having a kidney pancreas transplant at the same time, which would have been a little bit easier for me, they did the kidney transplant. And then 2 years later, another tragic death of someone who was young. I did not know them. I wasn't told the name.
Yeah.
They were in a car accident. The pancreas became available.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's God again.
God, right on time, right on time. I didn't even know that it was possible to have a pancreas transplant.
Right.
Before I ended up in this situation where I needed the kidney. And I discovered, I'm not a diabetic anymore, by the way.
I was going to say, now you have to tell me the second part to that, because you were diabetic, and because you received that pancreas, no more diabetes.
That is correct. I was shooting up with insulin a minimum of 3 times a day for almost 40 years.
Wow.
And when I had this transplant and got this new pancreas, no more. Immediately it kicked in, and my numbers have been great ever since.
That is
It
awesome.
works. It works. As a matter of fact, it probably works better than my pancreas would have worked at my age, because it was a young pancreas.
Because they were young kids? Yeah. Okay, so how did your faith help you through this process? Because, it's hard. Sometimes we want to blame God when things aren't going the right way, but how did your faith come into play when it came to needing 2 transplants?
Yeah, I tell you what, just the way the first transplant happened strengthened my faith, because it came right on time.
Right.
And it was very miraculous that this kidney became available for me. So it really strengthened my faith. I've always been pretty positive. I've been a person from my earliest years who believed in God. I've always been very optimistic. That has a lot to do with temperament,
Right.
Just to be honest. I always feel like I can win.
Yeah.
And my faith really is what kicked in when I was in the hospital getting ready to have the transplant. I was optimistic, and I hustled on down. I had it in Birmingham. I lived in Huntsville, Alabama, and I had it done at UAB. They do a lot of the transplants. And I knew one of the physicians who was going to do the procedure for me, and I was totally positive until I got there and put on the gown.
Reality hit.
Reality hit, and my children were there, and I was thinking I may not wake up and see them again. Right. So I was very nervous, but my children are full of faith as well. And we had a prayer, and after the prayer, I was very calm. And when I came out of the surgery, when I opened my eyes and knew that I was alive, I just thanked God. Yeah. My faith pulled me through. I don't know how people can make it through life, especially when they have illnesses and whatnot that humans can't fix on their own. God.
Yeah.
God. What do they say? But God?
But God, every time.
Oh, look, nobody can tell me he's not real.
No.
I know it.
Not when miracles like that happen every
no.
day.
Yeah.
So what would you tell someone that's considering being a donor and maybe a little scared about signing up to register as a donor?
Yeah, that's another loaded question. You're asking very good questions. I would say to anyone who is, well, first, I think not enough people consider it. They don't really think about it.
Right.
I would say, first of all, everyone should consider it, because when your time on earth is over, when you breathe your last breath, here are the options. You can go into the grave and begin to decay and wait for the return of the Lord.
Right.
Or you can actually set it up, and this can be done before there's any tragedy happening.
Right.
You can set it up so that the parts that you have that are operative and work well can be a gift of life for someone else.
Right.
And that is a gift that doesn't really cost you anything.
Not a thing.
It's free. And you mentioned faith a minute ago.
Yes.
Sometimes people's understanding of who God is and how he operates gets in the way of being willing to donate their parts. There are some people, and I know of someone, I think I shared it with you before, who was a relative of mine who did not want to have an amputation because he was afraid when the Lord returned, he didn't want to go to heaven missing a foot.
Right.
And that's kind of a misunderstanding of who God is, this
It
God
is.
of creation.
Because we're not coming back with these bodies, right?
No, absolutely not. I don't want to take this one
Exactly.
into heaven. Got too many problems with it, right?
Exactly.
So it's not. You're not losing anything. You're not losing anything if you perish, if you breathe your last this side of the return of the Lord. If you donate your parts, when God comes back, you're not going to go into heaven with missing parts. He's a God of creation, and he will restore us and make us even better than we were before. Right. But there's somebody somewhere who might be able to live if we're kind enough, like the lady who is mourning the death of her son, to say, my son is now dead. However, I would like for the gift of life that he can give to go to somebody who can keep on doing good.
Yes. I love that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, this gets me excited about the gift of gospel coming up. So, what do you want to tell everyone about this wonderful concert that we're about to have on the 21st of February?
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me push it a little bit. Everybody needs to be there for more than one reason. Number one, the music is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be off the chain. And you need to come get this good music. But in addition to that, I think that the opportunity to learn a little bit more about organ donation, to make this an issue, especially in our community. And I'm talking now the black community. Everybody should be willing to give the gift of life to others when their life is over, but especially in our community where there is a major shortage of parts, where we, in fact, are very superstitious with some of our beliefs, feeling like if I say I'm going to donate my part, then somebody's going to kill me to take my part. That's not the way this works.
It's not.
That's not the way it works at all. And I think that we need to make this an issue that is at the forefront in our community. You made mention of the fact that so many people die every day.
17 people die
17
every day.
a day who could potentially live if we would just be kind enough to donate parts that aren't going to serve us anymore.
Exactly.
When we're dead, but they can be a blessing to somebody else. I got parts in me right now. Todd is not here.
Yes.
But his parts are still keeping me alive. And I kind of believe this. Can I share
Go
this?
ahead,
This is not scripture or anything. But I kind of believe that, God has given me the opportunity to be a blessing to other people. And I think that every time I'm a blessing to another person, that's Todd.
Oh.
A little bit of Todd. In fact, his mother, every time she sees me, she wants to touch where the transplants happened. And her son, in her mind, still lives on through someone else. So the story doesn't have to be over when you die, especially if you're kind enough to do what is necessary, be intentional, and sign up so that the gift of life can spring forth from you even when you're dead.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much, Pastor Doggette. And make sure everybody joins us at the Gift of Gospel on February 21st, right here at Patmos Chapel, 7 p.m.
Be there.